Good afternoon. Welcome to another sunny day in New Zealand. We're actually in autumn now, but it's still lovely and sunny. It's 27 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, no rain, which is great. What you can see here is the back of the body, and I've placed our inner template on. I've actually drawn a line, but I'll show you in a second. I've measured the distance between this will be the switch and the wall, and this will be the tone control and the wall, and we've got enough room to work, so it's going to be fine. So I've drawn the line, and then we take the template off, and that's what we're left with. When I start eating all this out in a minute, I'll show you some of that, and then I'll be using the router to go around the edges. I don't expect the router will be able to go to an edge this close. It might end up being, if I can do this on camera, it might end up being more like that. But that's fine. It's not going to matter. The reason being is that the bearing can't get into a tight corner like that. But if it does that little bit extra here on all sides, I'm okay with that. Once that's eaten out to the right depth, then we'll use the second template. Let's do this one-handed, and we'll cut a rebate. We'll cut this will all be gone, and then we'll cut this edge out to the depth of our cover, so our cover should fit exactly perfect. So I hope you understand now why I need two templates. So I've drawn the size. I'll set the camera up, and I'll get my drill and Forstner bit going, and we'll get into it. One thing I do need to do is measure the depth of the body and subtract from that the part of the switch that will be sticking out the other side. I have to be very careful not to go too far with this, because the end will be quite thin on top and we don't want to eat right through it. So anyway, I'll do some calculations, set up the drill, and I'll bring you back and show you. Okay, as best I can tell, this is about the depth I want to go to, so that gives us a fair margin of error. I think we're going to be okay with that. Hopefully it'll be on the easy side. So we'll drill some holes and we'll see how we go. Have to be very careful with this. I don't really want to make a mistake at all. Scary stuff. As far as I can see from the colour of the sawdust that's come out, we haven't got down to the Rimu, which is okay, so that gives us at least that much margin of error. So we'll carry on with that, and then we'll get the router out and we'll gradually creep up on it from there. So I'll drill a few more holes and show you what we've got, and then I'll finish the rest and bring you back when it's time to get the router out. I'll just clean this out a little bit and show you what we've got here so you can see where we're going. Tiny bit further to go on that one. So this is what we've got, and so we'll just carry on going all the way around, and once it's all done we'll get the router out and clean it up and see what we're looking at. I think we're well on the safety side of things here, so I don't think we're in any danger of going all the way through. So I'll get this done and I'll bring it back and show you in a minute. Okay, that didn't come out quite as tidy as I hoped. What happened was a large chunk, this large chunk, came out of here. And the reason being that there's a large hole in the edge, which is where the this plugs into the amplifier. And of course there's a large hole right there too. So the piece came right out. There's no damage done, it just means that there's going to be a fair bit more work for the router to do, which I was kind of hoping to avoid, but we can't avoid it, so we'll have to live with it. So I'm going to clean up my workbench and set the router up, and we'll have a look and see how we go. We're going to have to go very careful, little by little, off the router, but I think we're going to be fine. Okay, we've got the router set up. We'll give it one good pass around and we'll take it out and have a look and see what we're doing. As before, it's going to get a little bit noisy, but here we go. Okay, we haven't quite gone all the way around, but we're completely full of sawdust in here, so for safety's sake I should stop and clean it out. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'll just clean that out and then I'll bring you back and we'll have a closer look at it. Okay, if you have a look in there you can see where the router's been. It's been around the edge here. It's not a very tidy edge so far, but we'll get to that. It's missed out on these corners here, but that's where the sawdust was, of course. But up here it's reasonable. Still got quite a depth to go yet, but I think we're doing okay. So look, I'll carry on with this, and I'll show you what it's like when we get it done. Okay, so here we are. We've gone down quite a long way now. You can see the marks of the Forstner bit have all gone, so we've come down the full depth of what we're aiming for. You can see here the piece we put in several months ago. So we've come down a long way. The three holes that you can see here is the switch, the volume and the tone control is going to go. So what I think is prudent to do now is to drill through from the other side the actual size of the volume and tone control is going to go through, and the switch, which is it's inside here, and we'll see whether we've got enough, and if not, how much further do we need to go. So we'll leave the template on for the time being, but I think a good idea now is to drill those holes out and see where we are. So I'll drill that out. Actually, I'll get the drill set up and we'll come back and have a look at it together. Because we already have a hole here for the switch and the for the volume and tone controls, the final size is going to be 9mm, which is quite a big step. I think it's probably prudent to drill out to 6mm. I'll just do one of them. Drill out to 6 meters and then to 9, rather than just hit 9 straight away. We don't want to rip this all out. And I'll try and go as slow as I can. So I'll set up the video and we'll see how we go from there. Okay, we'll give it a go. I'm going to have to be very careful with this. So I'll do it just by hand to get it started. Alright, that wasn't too bad. So I'll just quickly change this for the 9mm and then we'll pop the switch in and we'll see whether we've come down far enough or whether I've got to route some more. I think we're going to have to route some more, but we'll see. Okay, here we go, for 9mm. Little tiny bit of tear out there. I'll show you that in a sec. It won't be a big deal because the washer's going to cover that. So here's our pot, potentiometer, but pot for short. And we'll see whether we've got enough here. I'll leave the template on as I said before. We'll poke this guy through. In fact, we won't poke it through because it's going to be a little stubborn. Let's see what we can do here. I won't force it. It does say 9mm. It does measure to 9mm. The drill bit had better be 9mm also, except it's not. It's 8.5. Wouldn't you know it? Alright. I'll just manipulate that a wee bit and we'll try again. I think I'll be a bit careful here. Alright. Stand by, I'm going to get my little rat tail file and file it. Back in a sec. A little bit of footage got lost there. I'm not sure why that happens. Every now and again it seems to do it. But what we've got now, I did file that hole and I've since routed out some more because there wasn't enough room, and I'm probably still going to have to route out a little bit more. We'll just have a look here. The pot's in there nicely, but you can see that the threads don't quite show through yet, so I've still got a bit to go. Also, a little bit of a disaster, we had this piece chip out, which is a bit of a shame. That piece there comes from here, look, right where the magnet is going to go to hold it in, you see that? Chipped right out of there. But it's not the end of the world. We can glue that piece back in and carry on. The three other places where the magnets will be, one here, and one here, will be heap strong enough, so this one won't be a problem, but I will save that piece and we'll glue it back in there. I'll probably get a little bit of epoxy to glue that to make it super strong. So I have to set the router up and go a bit deeper still. So where we're at now, we're down quite a long way. There's that piece that's chipped out that we saw before. If I, just with my one hand, if I put this pot in the hole, push it in all the way, same as before, you can see that we've still got a long way to go. really I've just measured the thickness of the material left here, and we're looking at about 9 millimeters. I would have to take another off of there. I'd have to take another 5 or 6 millimeters. That's going to leave 4 or 5 millimeters thickness to the cavity, to the material left. So that means that this area here will only be about 4 or 5 millimeters thick. I'm not prepared to do that. I don't like that idea at all. It is possible to get longer pots than this. It'll be a 3-week wait for them to come from the United States, but I think I need to do it. So I'm going to order them now, and then we'll carry on with this part of it when it comes back. In the meantime, though, what I can do is make the cover for this and make the rebate. If I just pull this off of here. In fact, I can't do it one-handed. Hold on a second. No, I have to use my both hands in a minute. I'll take this off and bring the second template on. I have to make the rebate, make the cover, repair this area here, put the magnets in so this side's done, drill these out to suit the switch, and then get on with something else until those parts turn up. So I'm going to call it a day on this one for the time being, and I'll come back and we'll sort that top out. Won't be tomorrow, but sometime very shortly. Alright, so bit of a setback, but it can't be helped. I think we better be safe on this. Okay, that'll do it. Catch up with you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.